Hi, my name is Steve DeMoss. I'm with Big Peach Running Company, and today we're going to talk a little bit about how we categorize the footwear that we carry, and also the construction methodology of the various shoes that we carry that makes sure that each shoe is designed for a specific end user. To start off with, the way we categorize all of our footwear is to look at it on a spectrum. You have your least stable shoe, and you have your most stable shoe, and you've got every degree of difference in between. Now within that spectrum, you have different categories. We'll start off with the category that we call neutral cushioning. Neutral cushioning shoes are for those individuals who, as they are running, maintain a stable position throughout the various phases of their gait cycle. The next category we carry is called structured cushioning. Structured cushioning shoes are for those individuals who do not maintain as stable a position as our neutral friends during the course of their gait cycle. And it's designed for individuals who will overpronate or roll in a little bit excessively at various points during the gait cycle. Another category is motion control, which is for individuals who are going to have a high degree of overpronation or fall into a very unstable position during the course of their gait cycle. We also carry shoes that we categorize in the performance training category, which are slightly stripped down shoes versus what we would call a regular high mileage trainer. They're great for going fast on fast training days or on race days, but they're not going to provide the degree of protection or durability as their high mileage trainers will provide. So today we're going to mostly focus on high mileage trainers. Now we talked about the neutral cushion category, we talked about the structured cushion category, and we also talked about motion control. Within each categories, there are various differences. Again, thinking along the lines of the spectrum that we have, there are some differences in the construction of the shoes, and they will provide different degrees of stability within that category. So we're going to start off with neutral cushioning. We're going to look at a shoe. For starters, when we talk about how shoes are constructed as it relates to stability, we're really talking about the midsole for the most part. It's not just the midsole that provides stability, but it's the midsole for the most part. In a neutral cushion shoe, you're going to find a midsole that just consists of a foam material that encapsulates any kind of proprietary device, whether it's air or gel or hydroflow, depending on the manufacturer, that delivers the protection. In a neutral cushion shoe, you're not going to find anything that makes the medial side of the shoe any different from the lateral side of the shoe. So it's designed to not change how the foot functions at any point, because there's nothing different from either side of the midsole. Also within the neutral cushion category, you have some shoes that will provide a little bit more stability. An example of that, between these two shoes, you have a shoe which actually has, this bottom shoe here, has a plastic device that goes through the midsole. In this case, it's called a wave plate. That gives it a certain degree of rigidity that a shoe such as this one, which just has this foam material going through the midsole, does not. Now you'll see on this shoe that has the wave plate in it, that plastic device is the same on both sides, so it's parallel. It's the same on the medial side as it is on the lateral side. So it's not designed, again, to overcorrect one side versus the other. It just gives a little bit more inherent stability versus a shoe that might not have that plastic device or that rigidity through the midsole. Moving on to the next category, you've got structured cushioning. Now we already defined structured cushioning as the category for an individual whose foot will fall into a slightly or highly unstable position or moderately unstable position. In this case with this shoe, and what you're going to find with most shoes in the structured cushioning category is they have what is called a medial post, or a certain degree of denser foam material that goes through just on the medial side. You can see it here, not on the lateral side. That goes through, and what it's designed to do is slow down the foot's tendency to get into an unstable position. In this case, it's twice as dense through here versus the rest of the midsole. As that foot wants to roll in, this will give you a little bit of support. Now, within that structured cushioning category, you kind of have what we call light stability, moderate stability, and high stability. This would be a light stability shoe, or a guided shoe, as we like to call it. If you compare this one to this next one, which is more in the moderate stability category, you'll see that this one has a much more aggressive medial post. Again, using the same concept of the denser foam material going through this portion of the midsole just on the medial side versus the lateral side. This shoe is going to be more appropriate for an individual whose foot tends to find a moderately or more unstable position than the one I've got here on the bottom. Finally, within the structured cushion category, you do have the category, or the segment referred to as motion control. And you can see with this shoe, you have even more of an aggressive medial post through here. It's actually, not only is it twice as dense through this strip, it's actually 3 times as dense through here. It's reinforced by a plastic device, which gives it a little more stability, a little more rigidity to it. It's also built on a platform that lends itself to being in a more linear position and will also provide a little bit more stability as a result. There's your motion control category. Now, at Big Peach Running Company, when we assess each individual who comes in, we're going to get an understanding of how your foot functions, or what degree of stability or instability you have as you're running through your gait cycle at various points during your gait cycle. This allows us to get a real good understanding of how much stability you may or may not need out of your shoe. We also, and I didn't get into this when we talked about the construction of shoes, we'll also look at foot characteristics, things like shape of foot, width of foot, and arch type, because that will also give us an indication of what type of shoe, once we get the stability defined correctly, might fit your foot best.